Notable titles under the Malibu label included The Men in Black, Ultraforce, The Nightman, Exiles, and Black September. The company's headquarters was in Calabasas, California. Malibu was initially publisher of record for Image Comics from 1992 to 1993. The company's other imprints included SL Comics and Eternity Comics. Malibu also owned a small software development company that designed video games in the early to mid-1990s, alternately called Malibu Comics Entertainment and Malibu Interactive. History. Origins. Malibu Comics was launched in 1986 by Dave Ulbrich and Tom Mason thanks to the financing of Scott Mitchell Rosenberg, who was operating a comic book distribution company at the time. Ulbrich had previously been an employee of Fantagraphics, as well as the administrator of the Jack Kirby Awards. Malibu began modestly with creator-owned black-and-white titles, but made a name for itself publishing a combination of new series and licensed properties such as the classic characters Tarzan and Sherlock Holmes, and popular TV, movie and video game tie-ins. Eternity, SL and Adventure acquisitions and Genesis imprint. Malibu's 1987 financing arrangement with Rosenberg also led to it effectively acquiring Eternity Comics and Canadian publisher SL Comics as imprints. In 1989, Malibu acquired the publisher Adventure Publications. From that point forward, the Malibu brand was used for superhero titles, while the Eternity brand was used for the magazine line, and also for anime-inspired titles like Robotech. The Adventure Publications brand was used for Malibu's licensed titles, such as Planet of the Apes and Doc Savage, while the SL brand was used for Barry Blair's comics and Malibu's adult line. In 1992, heroes from Centaur Publications were revived in the form of the Protectors. Several of these characters had short-lived spin-off titles of their own. The Centaur heroes and other characters from Adventure, SL and Eternity plus Dead Clown and Widowmaker were put together in one universe to form the Genesis line. The Bravura imprint was then launched for the creator-owned and licensed titles. Image Comics, publisher of record. The company served as publishers of record for the first comics from Image Comics in 1992, giving the upstart creator-run publisher access to the distribution channels. This move led to Malibu obtaining almost 10% of the American comics market share, temporarily moving ahead of industry giant DC Comics. However, by the beginning of 1993, Image's financial situation was secure enough to publish its titles independently, and it left Malibu Comics Entertainment in late 1992, seeking to capitalize on the growing video game market. Malibu merged with video game developer Acme Interactive to form Malibu Comics Entertainment, Inc. Malibu Interactive Games Ultraverse. The Ultraverse line was launched during the boom of the early 1990s, roughly concurrent with the debut of publishers such as Image and Valiant, and new superhero lines from DC and Dark Horse. The line was in part intended to fill the gap left by Image's independence. They boasted improved production values over traditional comics, and a roster of respected and/or talented new writers and artists, emphasizing the tight continuity between the various series in the Ultraverse line. Malibu made extensive use of crossovers, in which a story that began in one series would be continued in the next shipping issue of another series. Various promotions for special editions or limited print stories followed. The Ultraverse line came to dominate Malibu's catalog. Following the Ultraverse line, Malibu launched additionally the Rocket Comics imprint for Rock Band Comics. Acquisition by Marvel Comics as sales declined industry-wide in the mid-1990s. Malibu cancelled lower-selling series. Nonetheless, the company's assets were still seen as attractive enough to garner interest from DC Comics in the spring of 1994. In addition, Rosenberg and Malibu signed with the William Morris Agency. The company was purchased by Marvel Comics on November 3, 1994. In the middle of the next year, Malibu standard bearers Mason and Ulm left the company. Marvel cancelled the entire Ultraverse line, but relaunched a handful of the more popular titles as well as a number of crossovers with Marvel characters. The Volume 2 series each started with #Infinity issues and were cancelled a short time later. Very little Malibu content was published after 1996. Within the Marvel Comics multiverse, the Genesis universe is designated as Earth 1136 and the Ultraverse as Earth 93060. Potential Ultraverse revival. In June 2005, when asked by Newsarama whether Marvel had any plans to revive the Ultraverse, Marvel editor-in-chief Joe Quesada replied that, in May 2012, Steve Englehart suggested in a podcast interview that the reason Marvel will not presently publish the Ultraverse characters is because 5% of the profits from those books would have to go to the Malibu creators that are still alive. Marvel editor Tom Brevoort later denied that the 5% was what was holding Marvel back, but was unable to give a real explanation due to a non-disclosure agreement. Titles. Some of Malibu's titles included Ultraverse, The All-New Exiles, Black September, Breakthrough, Codename, Firearm, Elven, Eliminator, Exiles, Firearm, Freak, Godwheel, Hard Case, Hostile Takeover, Lord Pumpkin, Necromantra, Mantra, The Nightman, Prime, Prototype, Rafferty, Ripfire, Rune, Siren, Sludge, Solitaire, The Solution, The Strangers, Ultraforce, Ultraverse Premiere, Ultraverse Double Feature, Ultraverse Origins, Warstrike, Wrath, Year Zero, The Death of the Squad, crossovers with Marvel Comics. Avengers, Ultraforce, Avengers, Avengers Prelude, Prime vs. The Incredible Hulk, Nightman vs. Wolverine, The All-New Exiles vs. X-Men, Conan vs. Rune, Ultraforce, Spider-Man number 1A, number 1B, Prime, Captain America, Rune vs. Venom, Rune, Silver Surfer, Nightman, Gambit, The Phoenix Resurrection, Genesis Universe. This line made use of many Centaur Heroes Plus characters previously published by Adventure, SL and Eternity. Airman, Arrow, Dead Clown, Dinosaurs for Hire, X-Mutants, Ferret, Gravestone, Genesis number 0, Man of War, Protectors, Protector's Handbook. Other titles: Alien Nation, Ape Nation, Bodyguard, Breed by Jim Starlin, Captain Harlock, Cat and Mouse, Cat Claw, Bruce Lee, Demonic Toys, Demon's Tales, Dolman, Dreadstar by Jim Starlin, Edge by Stephen Grant and Gil Kane, Full Throttle, The Man Called AX by Marv Wolfman, Men in Black, Metaphysique by Norm Breyfogle, Miss Fury, Mortal Kombat, New Humans, Nocturnals by Dan Breton, Paranoia, Planet of the Apes, Plan 9 from Outer Space, Power and Glory by Howard Chaykin, Project A-ko, Puppet Master, Raver, Robotech, Rocket Ranger, Shattered Earth, Shuriken, Silver Storm, Southern Squadron, Star Blazers, Star Slammers by Walter Simonson, Star Trek Comics, Star Trek, Deep Space Nine, Star Trek, The Next Generation, Star Trek, Deep Space Nine, Street Fighter, Strike Back by Jonathan Peterson, Kevin Maguire and Steve Olive, Subspecies, Tarzan Comics, Tarzan the Warrior, Tarzan, Love, Lies, and the Lost City, Tarzan the Beckoning, Terminator, Cybernetic Dawn, Terminator, Nuclear Twilight, Trances, Wild Nights,